So what I found was that after doing many years of self-development work, I hit a point where I was so much better than where I had been, and I was attracting much higher quality guys. However, it took really deep diving into these kinds of relationship teachings where, I do the deep energetic love blocks clearing, and also relationship coaching and male psychology. Those three combined are the killer. Okay. So after doing all this inner work that had really helped me shift difficult stuff in my past, and I was attracting much higher quality men, there was still a piece where I wasn't quite creating a relationship with a man who was at my level, who wanted to start a family, who was ready for commitment, who was also conscious and wanted, a conscious, committed relationship. And it took deep diving into these kinds of teachings that I'm going to be doing with you over the next 6 days for that key to really shift. So if you're ready, type yes in the comments right now. Type yes, yes, yes. So powerful and purposeful. What I find with purpose-driven, powerful women who are 35 plus, okay, what I find is that they have created, my clients create an amazing life for themselves. They have usually got through a few things. It could be some real trauma. It could be a difficult past relationship. It could be a really tricky job that they've had to navigate. And what happens is off the back of that, they have catapulted themselves forward, and everything that they've created themselves. Even if they're born into a well-off family, what they've created in terms of their purpose in life, they have created themselves. And that makes them a very do-it-all, know how to do it, very competent woman. So the competent woman's mantra is, I'm fine, I can do it myself. Just type yes in the comments if that might be you. I'm fine and I can do it myself. And sometimes you say I'm fine because you don't want to burden anyone else, and that you can do it. And often what happens with very competent women is that you end up doing most of the work for most of the things, most of the time, in most of the places. Can you relate? And what happens is you end up being the strong one in your relationships. You're the strong one in your family. You're the person that people come to. And what that also happens in your relationship. So you end up being the more masculine energy, okay, often a lot of the time, where you're the leader, or you're the one who's paying and picking up the bills, or you're the one who's saying, let's do this, let's do that, let's go here, let's go there, or where is our relationship going, or right? And you're the one who's kind of always thinking forward and having to do the strategy. And that gets very tiring. And what happens is, even though you are a very, very strong woman and you are capable, sometimes you don't know how to let a man lead, or the power of that. Okay, and that might be because you've been hurt in the past. Okay, so what happens is you show up not even knowing, everyone's going yes, 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 oh, that bit. You show up, okay, in your relationship looking beautiful, looking feminine, but there's an undercurrent of masculine energy, because a lot of your energy has been wrapped up all of your life in making things happen and doing getting shit done. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens is, in your relationships, you need to switch gears. And when you learn how to switch gears in your relationships with men, everything's going to change if you want a relationship with a masculine energy man. Okay, so as a caveat, they are not leading because your energy is being the predominant masculine energy. That's why. And so two things will happen. You'll get two bulls in a tent situation. And my ex-boyfriend actually said this to me, and he was trying to tell me in a nice way, and let me tell you, for ages I didn't get it. So if I can give you a shortcut, take it. Two bulls in a tent means when there are two alpha, I'm an alpha woman. You know, it's not that I'm rude to people or that I want to step on people's heads to get by, because I'm absolutely not that. I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm sweet, I'm loyal to a fault, and I'm strong. And people used to tell me, oh, well, you know, men are afraid of strong women. They're not. Let me tell you something now. They're not. What they're afraid of is a woman who won't let them be a man. A woman who won't let them be the man in the relationship. You know, he needs to have the predominant masculine energy, and that means you need to learn how to voice your desires, how to drop your demands and expectations, which most purpose-led powerful women are terrified of, because they think it means they won't get what they need in relationship. And it means being brave enough to not be in control, which we'll come back to. So you don't want two bulls in a tent, you know, you want a cock and a hen, right? So obviously you want to be the hen and you want the other cock to rule the roost. Okay, so what that means is, I'm trying to say rude things without appearing too rude. So what that means is it doesn't work in a relationship with a masculine energy man when you have as much masculine energy as he does. That doesn't mean you dim yourself. It doesn't mean you turn down your light. It doesn't mean that you now don't have any desire or drive or no opinion. Absolutely not. Actually, the feminine leads a lot of the relationship. But we're going to skip to point number 3. But are you brave enough to not be in control? And what I find with many of my clients is that underneath all this talk of I want a strong man, I don't meet strong men, I'm always having to lead the relationship, I'm always having to do everything. Underneath that is a fear that if you let go of control, something bad will happen. And because I do deep energetic clearing on the love blocks, what I see is that some of these fears relate to what you've seen happen in your own family. Some of these fears are inherited through the generations, because it used to be very true that when a woman entered into a marriage, she was property, literally property of that man. And then whatever he said goes. And so now a lot of, Sue says she's feeling a stream of energy. Yeah, I'm very connected to these teachings in the next 6 days. It's potent. And so what happens is we take on those burdens of our grandmothers without even knowing it. And a piece of us, even though you want to be a wife someday, you want to have a family, you're terrified of losing your purpose. You're terrified underneath everything that you'll lose your financial autonomy. And I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying that, so I know that really relates to some of you, because you've seen how some other women have suffered when they've not had their emotional autonomy, their financial autonomy, and you don't want that to happen to you. And that's the deeper energetic work that needs to happen in order to clear the way so that you can allow a healthy relationship to move forward. And so, you know, we see, even if we've had great family upbringings, we've always seen around us some of the women who've been squashed in relationship. And a little piece of us often says, I'm never going to let that happen to me. Emily says she's crying, so it really resonates. And I remember seeing my grandmother in her relationship with my grandfather, and she was a broken woman. She was a broken woman with a big heart, but she was a broken woman. And it took doing the very, very, very deep work, which is the energy clearing work that I do, to get to that piece where I really saw it, so I could just be in the flow of the heart again. Where I saw that at 6, 7 years old, I'd made a decision that says, I will never let that happen to me. And I didn't even know I'd done it. And guess what? Until I was in my mid-30s, I didn't let that happen. I didn't let that happen. I didn't commit to a man very deeply. I always had one foot in and one foot out. And then I was wondering, why is no man committing to me fully the way I want him to? Yeah. So that's the piece about being brave enough not to be in control. And when we can start to really see what's going on underneath the surface, then you know what to do with it. Yeah, then you know what to do. It's like driving a boat, okay? You want to let the man drive the boat, which means that he steers or he's sort of holding the wheel of the relationship, and that he can take you here and he can take you there, but you're the navigator. And the navigator actually is the one who controls everything. But our grandmothers knew, our grandmothers were so clever, and I used to fight this tooth and nail. No, I can say what I want, when I want it, how I want it. And if I say it's got to be like this, it's got to be like this. Guess what? That wasn't working for me. The clever woman is a navigator. The clever woman, and actually this works really, really well with the masculine and feminine part of the relationship. The clever woman is the navigator by her desire for love and how love wants to evolve through both of those people, okay, through the man and through the woman. And if you're in a relationship with another woman, then I'm speaking to you as the more feminine energy in that relationship. And we all go between the two. I need masculine energy in order to organize these 6 sessions that we're doing. I have to be in my masculine energy for that to happen. This needs to happen, that needs to happen. Emails need to be sent, things need to be set up. And in my relationship, I've learned how to switch gears. And sometimes I will be in that more directional role. And sometimes I know when to step back and let him lead. Okay? And that's a big skill that you need to learn, is how do I be the navigator in that relationship? So in my VIP program, there's an initiation into being the abundant wife. There's an initiation into releasing the past trauma so that you can trust men enough to lead, because at the deepest level, that's the truth. Most of us who are struggling with our relationships don't trust a man to lead. And that's what it comes down to. Because you've been hurt before, you're afraid of being hurt again. But here's the thing, when your map is clear, and this is what I teach my girls with the online classes that I've got and with the one-to-one work, when your map is clear and you know where you're going, you're not afraid to leave if that person isn't giving you healthy love. You know how to negotiate ups and downs, and that happens in every relationship. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Happens in the best relationships. And you know how to navigate through it without falling out of the boat, right? Or you have a swim and then you come back and then off you go together. But the clever woman knows how to navigate. What that means is the man does the work of leading, and he likes that. And he likes to make the woman happy. What most women don't understand is that men live to make women happy. They want to make women happy. It's a big fat lie that men don't. Any healthy man wants to make his woman happy. It lights him up, just like it makes you feel really happy when you know you're making your man happy and he is lit up by you. It's the same. At the deepest level, we are the same. So what happens is, with very powerful, purposeful women who are used to being in control in their lives, in their job, in their work, with their kids, they don't know how to lean back. They don't know how to let the man lead. And what will happen is, back to this bulls in a tent, you're either going to get a power game like this, which is something that I used to get into a lot, not knowing. I didn't know that's what was happening. I didn't know that's what I was doing. And then there's an argument, and then everything goes kaput. Or that masculine energy man won't get into a power struggle with you. He'll just leave. He'll think she's not for me, or I'm not that, or she's beautiful, she's not that attracted to you. Or they will come to you for sex because the sex is great, but they don't want to make you their wife because they know there's going to be too much of a power struggle. And again, I had a partner who I was on and off with for a couple of years. This is years ago. And again, he was trying to tell me there's too much conflict here, because I'm a very strong, outspoken woman. Now, for some men, that's great. For some, it's just not going to work, and that's okay. It's not about, again, it's not about squashing you down. It's not about you not having an opinion. It's not about you have to dim your light. No, it's about being with a healthy man who wants a healthy woman, and that you know the healthy ways to communicate and the ways to create a dynamic that works really well. And that takes skill, because none of us were given a good relationship education. So I can see some of you saying, I'm scared of losing who I am by letting go. Yeah. That's what's holding you back. I remember at 5 years old thinking, when you have a boyfriend, you do whatever they want, even if you don't want to. So at 5 years old, you receive that conditioning, and it's probably gone with you throughout the rest of your life and affected the way you have relationship. And that stuff has to go in order for you to have a healthy relationship, because it requires deep love and adoration for men. And we're going to come back into that later in the week, so make sure you catch all the classes. So can you understand where I'm going with this? That it requires you to let go of control. So if a guy doesn't want to lead properly, he's either too much in his feminine energy at the moment to lead a relationship, because the truth is some guys will half-assed be in a relationship. They might really like you, they might really love you, but they're actually not ready. They're not really ready to be in a committed relationship, and what that means. And my advice to you is, let that go. A relationship can actually be shifted and changed when you shift and change your dynamic. And that's what, when the women who do the mentorship with me, the women who do the VIP Abundant Love Activator with me, okay, that's what they learn to do. And so just this week in our Facebook group, and if you're not in there, get in there, it's called Awakening Sacred Love. She put up a post saying, you know, because she's been working with me one-to-one, and said, thank you, because this guy's just sent me flowers. We've met at the business meeting. We've been connected for a while. And she knows she's been afraid of letting that love in, but she knows that she's almost there, because this guy is sending poetry and flowers and he's well into her, and she's receiving it. She knows she's worthy of that. Okay. So can you be brave enough to let go of control? You know, can you know the difference? So we've gone from point 1 to 3 and back to 2. Desires versus demands. Powerful, purposeful women who are over 30 have lived in that. It's like, you're not 19 anymore. You can't be manipulated in those same old ways. And so what happens is sometimes your desire for relationship, your desire for commitment, and what you want your life to look like can come across as a demand. And so we're going to come to boundaries on another day, because some of you don't have enough boundaries and you don't say no enough. But you might start to sound like, when you're requesting something, like it's a demand. And that is such a skill of that, the empowered wife, you know, energy, is voicing your desires rather than voicing a demand. Because again, when you don't know how to communicate well, it creates resentment, and you'll attract more feminine energy men who don't know how to lead, because you're more in your masculine energy, you know. So tell me your thoughts. What's coming up for you as we're talking about this? I can see there's lots and lots of comments. Because the desire is what you really want, and that's what leads the ship of your relationship. But there's a way to voice desire, isn't there? And there's a way to communicate the desire. There's like, no, we should be going over there, and you're doing it wrong, and you're going in the wrong direction. And how many times have you told you this? You're so stupid. You know, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of men treating me like this. I'm tired of blah, 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 blah. Some of you are saying I relate to everything, right? And so what happens is that person says, you know what? drive the boat yourself. And you say, yeah, I can drive this boat myself. I've got the map. And so what happens is you're the woman who does everything again. And you're driving the boat and you can do it. You're driving the boat and you've got the map and the map's flapping in the wind and it's flapping in your face sometimes. But who cares, because I'm going to get there. And then you've got like pinning the map down with one arm and you're driving with the other. And eventually you get to the Paradise Island, but you're alone. Shit. So you can get to everywhere where you want to go in the way you want to get it, right? But the question is, do you want to go alone or do you want to go together? So one of you says, what does a financial imbalance in the relationship where the woman has more? I feel it does disempower my man, but I don't know how to deal with it. Amazing question. So yeah, I'll take a couple of questions now. And I'm glad that you all really relate. So this happens a lot now, again, because we are purposeful, powerful women who have made our great things in life and we're continuing to do more. So again, you let him lead, you let him take you out. Sometimes you let him pay for dinner. And what will happen is if your energy shifts in the relationship, the finances become less of an issue. It becomes more of an issue when you're not super clear on what you might resent if he isn't able to pay as much. So this is the thing that I completely lost my track because I was just reading someone's comment. So this is the thing that you need to get clear on. What do you really need to see happening in terms of finances? Are you going 50-50 with everything like in the house? Or does it make sense to kind of go 60-40 or something like that? But just make that really clear, what feels comfortable, and feel in your body, in your feminine body for that. Is it okay if that person pays 40% or 30%? And you pay the rest so that you can have the life that you want to live, but still let him take you out for dinner sometimes and let him pay. Tell him I would just feel like it would make me feel so happy to go on a date this week. What do you think? I would love you to take me somewhere. Can you surprise me? I'd love it if you surprise me. And he may or he may not, but then he'll go away and think about it. Let him pick up the tab for coffee. When you go for coffee sometimes, it doesn't have to be big things. Sit back and shut your mouth. Don't get your credit card out. And when it's the smaller price things, just say, oh, thank you. It feels so nice to be treated to coffee. This is lovely. And give him a little kiss on the cheek. And you'll literally see his body go, of course. Okay? But you're probably going to have to open those opportunities for him to do that. Or say, can you grab me something from the store? It would mean a lot to me. So one of you saying, I know this is controversial, but my parents' marriage is like that, and most relationships I find the women are more dominant and considered the boss. This does happen as well, and there's no harm in that. Listen, this is not about right and wrong. This is about, have you been struggling to attract a masculine energy man yourself, and has what you've been doing working for you? Because if it's been working for you, carry on. But often what happens is when that woman has the more dominant energy, the man has the less dominant energy and is more feminine, and the woman generally leads. Okay, but it's about how you lead. Are you leading in a clever way, or are you leading in a way where there is lots of conflict? Because what I've seen with some families and dynamics is that the woman's very loud, but she's still running around cooking the man's dinner, picking up everything after him, putting her life on hold for what he needs. So although she's very loud and very outspoken, the dynamic actually, in terms of her getting her needs met, she's not getting her needs met, she's just loud and opinionated. Does that make sense? So I don't know quite what you're saying, so just give me that statement or question a different way so I can answer it better. But I hope that makes sense. What about making plans? If they always want to be spontaneous and plan things last minute, but you like to plan ahead, well, they're going to have to change a bit, aren't they? Because you should be a busy woman with your own life going on. Go and get your Dream Guide Dating Masterclass, and I go into that in so much more depth of why that's important. Because if you're always available, you're going to get a lot less respect, and I've seen it over and over and over again. I desire a lot and I come out being demanding, and then I am told to be more present, to flow, because the relationship broke. Now working on fixing it and fixing it the right way, but I feel I've lost my power. I feel insecure and I feel losing again. You need to change those gears. Go and get my get your Dream Guide Dating Masterclass. It's jaydiamond.podia.com. I'm also opening 3 spaces only for a VIP. It's VIP Abundant in Love one-to-one program with me, where you'll get a series of activations, deep energy clearing, relationship coaching, and I can teach you about male psychology, so that when you go into your relationship, because here's the thing, manifesting the relationship is one thing. Do you like how I did that with my hands? This is manifesting. Manifesting the relationship is one thing, but then once you get in it, the whole different group of dynamics come up, because when you are in love, both your stuff and his stuff are going to come up, because in the presence of love, all that is not love comes up to be seen and healed, and it can be tricky, and you need to know how to navigate it. So your work there is coming back into your feminine power. You need to ignite your feminine power, and the feminine power is not just to roll over, oh, I let my man lead, and that means that you do everything that he says. That's not how it works at all. It's about learning, and if specifically it's around how you voice your desires, you might need instead my dating and relationship communication 101 masterclass instead, because that's like a very deep dive on communicating your desires and getting things done in relationship, where you don't come across demanding, where you don't come across as like inflexible, where you start to learn how to say, listen, I feel really scared and I feel really hurt by that, and I feel like I really need X, Y, and Z to move forward, but you're not so attached to it that it has to be that way in order for you to be happy. Okay, so pop me a message. If you pop me a DM, I'll send you a list of all the activations that we do, and we can jump on a one-to-one call. So the VIP activator is by application only, actually. So I'll send you the application. Okay, let's this. I feel empowered with male friends now, but when I fancy, oh my God, I so relate to this. When I fancy someone, I tend to wobble and focus more on insecurities and think too much. Yeah, so what's happening there is you get into your head and not into your body. So again, this is another thing about that kind of powerful woman energy, is that you're like in your head a lot, strategizing. Okay, I want this, but then this happens, and what if he thinks this, and what if I show up like that, and I need to not talk about this, and what about that, and it's all mental energy, and you're going to meet this partner, you know, energetically, your whole headspace is meeting them before you even are. What that means is they can't feel your heart. And a man doesn't fall in love with all the thoughts in your head. He falls in love with the essence, the beauty, the love of who you are. It's like opening your heart, and that is the scariest thing to do, and that's why we go up in our head. So just breathe down into your heart space. And like, if you've had a really busy day at work, or you feel that, like I sometimes can hear, now I catch myself when my tone of voice is changing, because we've got lots of things to organize, and I catch myself talking to my guy, and I can hear my tone of voice, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm doing it. I'm in like masculine mode. And sometimes that needs to be done, but sometimes when you can catch it, you've just got to rein it back, right? So exactly, you know, you've got your head over your heart, which is fine for hookups, which is fine for mental connection. But what will happen is if you are only connecting with men from mental level, you'll end up being friend zoned all the time. You keep being friend zoned. You keep being friend zoned to think, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And they'll say, oh, you're so lovely. You're so beautiful. And why aren't you with anyone yet? And you're thinking, why don't you fancy me? Because I fancy you. Why don't you fancy me? Because it's safe to be here. Okay? It's safe. You're in your head. You're kind of connecting mentally. You don't really go super deep, you know. And what they fall in love with is your heart. And you don't have to be, and I used to really resent this again. Oh, I don't have to be clever. Well, I am clever, and I've done some good things, and I'm doing some good things in my life, and I want someone to recognise that about me. And my guy does recognise that about me. We just spent 30 minutes before going live trying to put this thing on the wall so I could write, and it didn't work. But he helped me do that, and he's like, I don't think it's going to work. You're going to need a proper whiteboard, right? And I was like, And he did tell me that already, but I went ahead and bought one of the stick-on ones anyway, and it didn't look right. And he's right. I need a whiteboard, so maybe we'll see one of those. So, you know, he supports me in all of my work, and that's what you can have too. But if you only relate from that level and you don't drop into your body by breathing deep, by making your body soft, that when you feel that tension, that fear coming, you soften your body, you soften your belly, you even soften your pussy. Sounds strange, but it works. I don't tell you anything that doesn't work. Then you relate from a different place. Yeah, you relate from a different place. So, does that make sense? So that's tonight's. I told you I'm not going to make these classes too long. Amy said, I don't feel safe in my feminine self. How can we create that? Well, if you go to my Podia, there's a free clearing on there. No, there's not a free clearing, it's a paid for clearing. Through my videos on this page, there's free clearings. You can apply for my VIP Abundant in Love Activator, because you need to shift. Why do I fear letting myself go with men? Yeah, powerful and soft. You got the transmission. That's it. Do you know what it is? What happens is most women, we make ourselves look soft on the outside. And then we might be soft on the inside, or we might be hard on the outside, looking beautiful, but hard on the inside, and then soft on the anyway, I'm completely confused. What I mean to tell you is, your inside is powerful. That direct line inside of you has boundaries, is beautiful, and love has power. But on the outside, who you are in your relationship is soft. That's what I was trying to get at. Okay. So often women can be like cactuses. We're a little bit prickly. If you send me a DM, I'll send you some information to apply for the Abundant Love Activation. Okay. It's a 3-month program. So it is a deep dive. It's a VIP. It's 3 months worth of one-to-one coaching. So it's for women who are really invested in themselves. Okay. Otherwise, you can go to my Podia, which is where all my digital products are, and I'll pop the link down here. So often women turn up like cactuses. You're kind of prickly on the outside. You want a man to jump through hoops, yeah, because you feel so tender and vulnerable on the inside. You're afraid. You need to melt the ice and be soft on the outside. Be soft in your relationship. And then on the inside, you have true, authentic feminine power. Feminine power is not wearing a dress or sparkling makeup or fake eyelashes or even long hair. You can have your hair shaved off. Look at Amber Rose. She had all her hair shaved. She had a banging body. But men go crazy over Amber Rose. That model who leaked all those naked pictures. Of course, she's very sexy, but she has a strength on the inside, and She embodies her femininity and feminine power, and men just fall over themselves. And she hasn't got long hair. She doesn't wear glitter. She wears jeans and just a jacket with the boobs. But does that make sense? Women, beautiful, feminine, powerful women come in all shapes, sizes, races, ages, and clothes preferences. There's no one way to be feminine. It's about what's authentically feminine for you. And that is in your essence. When you peel back all the conditioning that we've had to adopt that makes us have to be strong in the world and be afraid of letting go of control. She has a fantastic body though, I don't. So what? Do you think that only women with great bodies have relationships? You need to open your eyes next time you're in the supermarket and look at the married people. It's nothing to do with your body. It's nothing to do with this. It's nothing to do with this on the outside. It's who you are on the inside, how available you are for love. Okay? So, a lady who owns my nearby restaurant is not even particularly feminine, but men's jaws drops because she owns who she is. A big lesson for me in trying to be feminine or thinking you need to be. Yeah. It's her essence. She's in touch with her feminine essence of who she is. She's confident. She owns who she is and what she is. And she's not ashamed of herself. She's not afraid of herself either. So that's it for tonight, ladies. I've probably gone over time. I'm going to try and stay on time for tomorrow. So this class is going to be up for 24 hours only, and then it goes. This is actually part of a paid program because there's so much information in here. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Listen, those of you who haven't signed up, I'll put the link here in case you found this by mistake. Please tag at least one great friend who you love. Thank you for all the hearts. I'm living for your hearts. Tag at least one great friend so that they can join this and be here tomorrow and get these transmissions, yeah? So that you can, so that you can really show up, yeah, and manifest your soulmate this year. I'm calling that in for you. You want it now, you can have it now. You want it in 2 weeks, you can have it in 2 weeks. You've got to let go of the conditioning, let go of all the stinking thinking. You've got to step into who you really are, okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. Check your spam box, see if any of my emails have gone there. Make sure you save my email address, okay? And then I'll see you tomorrow night. So tomorrow it's going to be 8 o'clock instead. Bye-bye.